Yeah, join wood.
That big cardboard box on the bottom. All of this, with the exception of
I'll join the crowd of geeks.
Oh, he's got a better lens now.
Pass them on to somebody who can get them better.
They're not trying to sign anything over there?
Yeah, that's one of Ian's options. Laptop. I thought maybe
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
wonderful. Alright, let's go sit down. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sir.
Sorry?
For dinner?
You didn't record that now, did you?
I did, yes.
No, that gets white.
No, that gets broadcast on Channel 31.
No, they're not allowed to have stuff on me on. Yeah. That's the condition of me working.
It'll be impact for everyone's glory.
Oh, god damn. God damn, I'm gonna actually...
Oh, you're the...
Gee.
Yeah, second person.
Oh, not the only one. No, not the only one.
I think we should actually look at him. So tell me, Bill, how do you like being? Oh, you're the.
It's just Bill McEwen.
Well done.
Well, the monkey's off the back.
That's Canberra treating you.
You guys know where the...
Buy Intel. Not even buy. But not the money.
It's going.
Gonna get all the classic stuff.
Oh yeah. Before it flies up. Yeah.
Oh, that will be because. But. Yeah. Now I like that wood tinge to the right of the monitor. Isn't that beautiful? Hey Charlie.
Pick these earpieces.
It's actually quite.
This is my pride and joy.
You should have a fully new phone to work with.
What year do you think?
All these computers are basically, most of them
A basic program. Shit, hang on, that didn't work.
10 print hello, 20
That's it. Ooh, the article.
Looks wonderful this way.
That's it.
Now let's run it.
Get them set up on the screen.
That's technology at its finest. A machine that cost, what was it, $800 10 years ago?
Was running on it, and I was absolutely just amazed at what it could do. But I didn't have the money to buy one, so that's the way it went. I'm not a technologist. All I want to do is make computing easy for people. I want people to be able to use devices to enhance their lives, and I want technology to embrace people, as opposed to us being forced to use machines the way they want us to use them. And that's what we want to do with Amiga. For those of you who don't realize it, when you go out and buy a Compaq, or a Dell, or a Gateway, or a Micron, or a multitude of other machines out there, what are you really buying? You're buying a Microsoft machine. You're not buying Compaq, you're not buying Dell, you're buying Microsoft. That's the way it is. That type of philosophy, that type of theory, is what we brought with us to Amiga. And that is, while we won't be manufacturing hardware ourselves, we have hardware designs we have created. We're going to allow other people to build those machines. So when you go out and buy a machine, it might not be from Amiga, but it's in every way and shape and part of the word an Amiga, because it's our motherboard design, our designs on how all the internal guts work, and it's our software. So I just want to make sure you understand that. The marketing tells you out there you're buying a Compaq. No, you're not. You're buying a Microsoft box. All right? And in the future, you're going to see devices, handhelds, desktops. You're going to see a multitude, a plethora of all different kinds of devices, machines, cell phones, etc. that'll have Boing Ball on them. And every single one of those are Amigas. And they're all going to work together. So the way we looked at the world and the way we put things together was it used to be that content was device specific. What I mean by that is you were going to listen to music, it was by radio, or by record player, or by CD player, or by tape player. Right? You really didn't use a computer to listen to music. You certainly didn't use a handheld, you didn't use a cell phone. Now as time's progressed, we now have a situation where content is accessible from different devices. In other words, you can use a PC now to listen to a CD. You can watch movies through a DVD player on a PC. And certain devices are now crossing that spectrum, right? Because you're able to do more things. The way we believe the future is you should be able to access any content from anywhere using any Amiga-enabled device. So that means that if I have a web tablet in my home, I could watch television through my set-top box in my home on that web tablet. But more importantly, for the first stage of the game, is to introduce people to very simple, easy-to-use computing technologies. In fact, as I said, we want the word computer taken right out of the picture, which means new desktops, new set-top boxes, new handheld devices, all are in the pipeline and will be out in a short period of time. The first new Amiga product you're going to see from outside sources is from MeterNet. This is a new set-top box that will be out at Christmas time, and should sell for about $299 US. Now this doesn't have a hard drive in it, and this is the first of the next generation of type machines, but it is designed for someone who just wants to get on the net, play around, etc. Okay? So that's the first one, third parties. The next one is actually going to come out of Holland. We have another company that signed up for 500,000 units up there, also in that new digital space. And then we've got our own suite of products that will be coming out through some third-party licensees that we'll be announcing tonight. Okay? Well, let's talk about what Amiga is. You guys are all aware, I hope, that the new Amiga OS, which we call AmigaDE, which stands for Digital Environment, runs on 14 different processors right now. Native. PowerPC, x86, Hitachi SH34 and 5, RISC 3000, 4000, 5000, runs on strong ARM, Motorola M-Core, and forgetting other ones. Another certain chip we have in our office I can't tell you about. We just got only one of 6 machines in our office right now, and we got it up and running on it within 1 week. And they said it couldn't be done. Of course, Dean Brown hadn't slept that week, but he did. But the point is, and I know I've missed several other chipsets that we operate on, but the idea is right now, an OEM or a manufacturer can select the hardware they want. For all intents and purposes, Windows is x86. That's really the platform that they are. You limit people's possibilities when that's your limitation. Okay? The other thing is we're resource friendly. We currently run the Motorola MAP 1088 phone. This is a 3 MIPS cell phone. There's only 4 megs in the whole phone, and you can run video games on it. Okay? Your environment, you can run and select Java. You can use C, C++, or assembly to create applications for it. And right now, month 10, right? Still? Okay. Month 10 of us being in business, you've got a Linux toolkit that's out there now, and on the 24th we begin shipping the Windows toolkit. So you can develop for Amiga using either Windows or Linux, and very soon on the new Amiga platforms when they're available. So, and as time rolls on, well, everywhere we're on a chipset, tools will be created, so pretty soon we'll have all kinds of great places you can develop for Amiga. Does that make sense? Is that understandable? Okay, another feature of the new Amiga that's very different, and this is how we're going to get into the marketplace. All right, I'm not going to outspend you-know-who, no chance. And up until Windows 3, they weren't #1 in any category. So, does anyone remember that? How many people remember when Word was #2? Excel was #2. And Power was? No one knew what that stuff was. They weren't #1 until Windows 3, and you didn't see them doing advertising. You didn't see them doing all the mass marketing. Why? They didn't have the money for it. The way they made their money was OEM deals. They got on all the hardware, and all the hardware guys paid them a fortune for it. I think that's a good plan. I like earning lots of money without spending lots of money. This is a good plan. Profitability is important to me. Okay? So what we've done that's also unique is that the AmigaDE can run on Linux, all flavors of Windows, C, E, N, T, Me. It runs on OS 9, which is the set-top box operating system from General Instruments. You guys have pricing out there from David. It runs on Itron. Who can tell me what OS is Itron? Anybody? Who knows the Sharp Zorus? Sharp? Itron? That's the OS. Epoch. Who knows Epoch? Scion? Symbian? Okay, run that. VxWorks. Where's VxWorks #1? Anti-lock brake systems. Kind of scary, isn't it? We run on an anti-lock. No, wait a minute. Not good time for guru meditation. What you're going to see today is demonstrations of the environment on Windows and on Linux. And one of the things you're going to see today is the idea that no matter what it is that you write with Amiga, it runs on Amiga. I don't care if you wrote it in Linux, I don't care if you wrote it in Windows, and pretty soon native on Amiga. The important thing is whatever you write can run anywhere Amiga lives, which means your code can run without change, mind you, no change, on 14 different processors and 9 different operating systems. Okay. As an example, we'll start over here. We have an ISO 1.44 floppy disk. Put it in Windows.
Pretty big.
Hey, I
System shut down.
Floppy
Screen
down thing. That really hurt. But giving a demo. So we clicked on the Windows thing, and because I'm such a gearhead, it launches for me. So here we are. This is all running from the floppy. We've loaded an operating system, and we're away. Okay? There it goes. New interface, and a game. I'm really bad at it, so let's let it run like that. Now, for those of you guys that are interested in open source movements, The Amiga open source, Open Amiga list is phenomenal. In fact, this game came from open source. Okay, same exact floppy. No change, no sleight of hand, nothing on my sleeves. We go to the Linux box.
Trust your feelings, Luke. I am your father.
Okay, we click on Linux.
Here's the man, Luke.
Let's go up fun mount, unmount, whatever. There it goes. Loading from the floppy.
That's like floppy.
Same floppy. Same binary, same code. And I'm still just as bad on Linux as I am on Windows.
Smoother too.
We can leave right now. The point being is this is binary right there. I mean, you're seeing it work in action. We need some more chairs? So for developers, you now have a single platform that will allow your applications to run on multiple different systems. There was no recompilation. There was nothing. We took the code. The only bits we changed was the bottom part that you need to worry about. You run on Linux, fine, throw the Linux bits in. You run on Windows, throw the Windows bits in. The way we're going to get into this market and help folks out is, think of all those devices. How many Nintendo Game Boys have been sold as of June of this year? Those of you that know the answer, because I told you the answer. Take a guess. Anybody? How many Game Boys have been sold? What was that?
5 million?
5 million? Higher than that.
7.
Sorry?
7 million.
Higher. That's it right there. 100 million Game Boys have been sold. 100 million. I won't go there. One day they might pick us. What's happening is, if you look at the other handheld products out there, right? The form factor was key. I mean, the Sega box, was it RJ Michael that did the Sega box? Remember the handheld that was all in full color way back when?
Links.
The Amiga guys did that. I don't know if you guys know that. When they left Commodore, they actually built that box and designed it far better. But it was a form factor issue. This little handheld is a proper form factor. Now you've got all these devices out there. Some are running Wince, okay? Some are running Palm, right? Some are running Itron, Epoch, other systems. Now, if you could suddenly have a multimedia, three-dimensional game on a device like that, wouldn't that enhance their efforts better? That's what we're telling them. And they're listening. At the same token, there's an understanding that there's a real need for new platforms for other folks. Let's take a look at a couple other things real quick. Now, I know I'm going to do this wrong, so oh well. Alright, now this is all running from the hard drive here. So again, I know it's real hard to see, I'm sorry. I'll try to do most of the demos over here, but the same thing will occur over in Linux. Small puppets. This is now, what you're looking at is a sample user interface on Amiga. Here's Doom. You have to understand when you look at it why it's the size it is. Think about the devices that people are coming on right now. So you got Doom going. Am I in the way of the camera or the projector? Yeah. Okay, good. I mean, okay.
I might make this up the center of the page.
Here's an MPEG going. Here's the same MPEG for those who want to see it twice. The point is that if you write it in native code for us, the binary is 100% compatible. So the MPEG player that runs over there runs over here. It's kind of funny. I mean, did you notice that he was like 3 pies? I never noticed that in the clip. I saw the first one. Then he gets another one here at the door. There's a third one that's there. Bang.
Bye.
time he gets the third one,
Third
the mind
time right,
finally
that's right.
realizes there's something going on.
I thought it was hilarious. I never really saw the clip that much. I had another clip I used to bring with me, but someone was offended by it. It was the clip from South Park. Jim Bill Gates in here. Hello, Windows 98 was great. It is, Windows 98. Those of you who haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun. Okay. The point being is that whatever you write, one of my favorites, finishing position, works on both platforms. Now, for some of you that want to know what's going on from the community side,
Thunderbirds.
how many people remember photogenics?
Yeah.
How would you like to have photogenics in the new Amiga? Did it in 3 weeks.
Holding the code.
Yeah, this is all native now. I mean, it is definitely alpha state, but the fact is, I don't use any of these products. I don't have time to. There you go. I mean, the point is, it works. So now already photogenics runs binary. I mean, runs here, runs on Linux. It would have saved Paul a lot of time if he'd done it our way the first time. But now his code is available on multiple platforms. Now, what's all this mean to the community? That's the important point. Because we can use off-the-shelf components, because we have deals cut with certain manufacturers, we will now be able to deliver to you multiple new platforms to get excited about. In all honesty, you know what you're looking at? You're looking at 2 Amiga notebooks. That's our OS running there. Now, I can have that same OS running over here on a PowerPC notebook. I don't, because I got this for free.
So will you be advertising Amiga inside?
Well, there will be an advertising campaign that will do that, absolutely. I don't know if we can use Amiga inside. Internet's using powered by Amiga. The thing you're going to want to start watching for is the Boing Bowl. It's a great trademark that you'll be able to see on multiple devices. Okay? But this is, I mean, it was the other day, I was literally on the plane, I was working with these demos, and it hit me. I'm using an Amiga notebook. We've never had an Amiga notebook before, and I'm actually using one. And with 2 batteries, I can go 9 hours, so that's not too bad. The fact is that we're making the steps. I mean, in 10 months, we've gotten this far. Okay? At the 1-year anniversary, you'll have new product shipping.
Promise?
Not too bad for 12 months. Sorry?
Promise?
Not from us. It'll be MeterNet's the first one. Definitely not by Christmas time. Okay. Our stuff's a little more complex than what they're doing. But tonight you'll actually see some timelines and some announcements on what's going on there. So buy your dinner ticket. I'm going to kind of leave it open at this point because I want to make sure everyone understands and grasps what we're talking about. Amiga literally will be the first operating system that can be everywhere. There's not a product in the world that can do that floppy demo. I mean, it works. This is not, you know, we're not having to put you guys in some weird hypnotic state, although I could. But the fact of the matter is where the community is so important to us is it's you guys that have kept it alive. You're supposed to say, here's my checkbook when you walk like that.
Here's the chicken!
Okay, forget the whole community thing I just mentioned. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to open it up to you guys at this point. Leaving the Inkyverse. So the product is AmigaDE. There's all kinds of new products and hardware that will be coming out the door. It's going to take us, you know, it's certainly not done as quickly as I would have liked. But they are coming. You're seeing some of the progress that we've made so far. The new SDK will be out, begin shipping on the 24th. And those of you that already have the Linux SDK will automatically be upgraded for free to the new version. Now, I did make a small mistake on my document, the executive update. The Coan engine, Math engine, Criterion Renderware 3D are not in this update. They're in the next build, which comes out about 4 weeks later. So I apologize. I thought it was in this build when I put that in there, believing that was the case. But the sound of the 3D. Oh, did I show you guys the 3D?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. We've OpenGL's been ported.
Was that done by Hyperion?
This is Hyperion's work. Yeah. I'm sorry. How could I let them hear this? And what was interesting is Hyperion told me, this is just the Mesa demo, right? Oh, there it is. But this is native code. So again, anywhere that Amiga lives, this will run. Take that game. But literally you'll have 3D. And, the stuff we're doing with some of the cell phone guys is pretty amazing. Some of the new cell phones that are coming out are just mind-boggling. They're just amazing. I saw one that has 1280 by 768 resolution on a phone. That is so cool. And they've got battery issues on that one. Walk with a charger. Very long extension. So with that, does everyone grasp what we're doing? There is new hardware, there are new products, but we are a software company. We're focusing all of our attention that way. Yes?
The marketing issue, you're demonstrating here creating an environment that sits as a layer, if you like, on top of any platform.
Or native.
That's what I'm saying. That's what my question is. What you've demonstrated here is sitting as a interpreter, or sorry, as not an interpreter, something you can load on an existing platform.
Yeah.
How far do you see your marketing will follow that path versus moving towards being a native environment sold in its own right?
What will happen is initially some of the handheld devices will be native first. The desktop stuff that's coming out from us will be native. In some of the other markets, they've already signed OEM deals that they're locked into for 12 months. So Amiga will be there, but it will be possible as being hosted on other operating systems. Everything you're seeing here is in software. We're not using any hardware acceleration anywhere here. So that's good. I mean, the performance you're seeing now is all in software. We're not doing anything in hardware. When you see me, I don't do it on these devices, but at the office we've got on some of the desktop machines where we are using hardware acceleration. I mean, this is just flying. It's amazing. But what you're going to see is, and I started to allude to this, and I lost my point, and that was initially, Amiga will start showing up a little stealthy. Okay? We're going to be providing game content and multimedia content and application content like photogenics on somebody else's operating system. We give people used to the environment when it's time for contract negotiations next year. The other one gets to go away, and we're the only one on the device. Part of the issue of going native are drivers. We simply don't have the manpower to write all the drivers we need right now to be able to go native on as many platforms as we'd like to. So what we're doing is we're selecting the battles we want to win. We'll win the war later, but we select each battle strategically as to where we want to go.
So will I be able to, in some short time, go and buy an Amiga environment for my Windows 98 box or whatever
Yes.
running on, and then look at that screen of products?
Absolutely.
That's where you're looking to move the market.
Well, no, what will happen is in that environment, what will more likely occur is the PC manufacturers, many are coming out with Linux platforms. You'll most likely see an Amiga there first before you will see them ship something that's a Windows platform with us on there. Okay? What would occur is you could, as an individual, purchase AmigaDE for Windows and go out and run that yourself. Yeah, I'm just saying from an OEM basis. What you'll see is most likely strike in the Linux market first, because they're trying to create new desktop environments that have great content, and of course, this is the way you're going to get it. I've got about 4 more minutes. Okay. I'll be back at 2 o'clock, so if there aren't questions here that I'm answering, it's 2 o'clock, am I correct?
No, it's actually 3:30.
Okay, so 3:30, I might be here at 2, but I'll just keep it.
We can also set up some demos on the Unitech and the Amiga.
Yeah, and both these machines will be over there, so you guys can play with this stuff. Okay, that's good. But what will most likely happen from the OEM standpoint is we'll play the things first. Okay, and then we'll move into other opportunities on other platforms. There's a big push right now to create new consumer apps that aren't running Windows. Excuse me, systems that aren't running Windows. And that's where we'll strike first. But I can tell you that right now, we did a shotgun blast to the STB market, set-top box market, to say like, okay, let's just do some fishing. We cast this giant net. Every single person called back. Every person, either the CEO or the CTO of every one of these companies called back and said, whoa, we got to talk. The only reason why I know I will spend more time here is next week I've got people from Japan, England, Germany, Idaho.
Foreign country.
It's another foreign land. If you've ever been there, it's a foreign land. All next week. So I'm booked solid as to closing up some of these other deals. We have a lot of people knocking on our door right now. But especially the guys in Japan have been wonderful to us. We are very, very pleased with the progress we're making with consumer electronics companies over there. I'll share with you guys 2 short stories and I'm done, just to let you know how people are beginning to accept this. Who's aware of PC Magazine? Okay? You guys all know John Dvorak, Michael Miller, Bill McEwen, right to the game. They do these what's called PC Magazine Editors Days. And they have these all around the US. And they select a city and go in and do their thing. Well, the Seattle one was here about 2 weeks ago. And I haven't, again, we're still trying to stay a little stealthy. We don't want people really to know everywhere what we're doing yet. We'll certainly react if they'd like us to, but we're not going to go out and start knocking on a lot of doors yet, because we still want to, whoa, that's kind of I didn't do it. Anyway, so PC Magazine Editors Day. I go down to Seattle, and as you guys know, I'm riding a motorcycle again. And so I rode in, got my motorcycle helmet in. Everybody else is in suits. They're going to go meet the press. So I walk in. I've got my 3 notebooks with me, and I bring them, toss on the table. Bill McEwen's meeting with another very large software company. And he sees me, and he ditches them, comes over, we start talking. I hand him the Motorola phone. He starts playing the driving game and some other games on Motorola phone. Just stunned that he's playing a full motion video game smoother than we can get on other platforms in the cell phone. So we start chatting, and I don't know if you guys know how it works, but based on who you are is who you get to meet with, right? So I show up at the table and I'm like, okay, I'm meeting with Schmuck Editor 1 and Schmuck Editor 2. And they have no clue who I am, and I don't even know who they are, it doesn't matter. So I'm sitting there while I'm talking to McEwen. Michael Miller comes up and grabs me, and he starts looking, he starts playing with the phone. So Michael's getting all excited about what we're doing. Both these guys really think what we're up to makes a lot of great sense. So they start enjoying it. So I go up to the hotel room where these things are done, and I set up the 3 machines. And here comes Schmuck 1 and Schmuck 2. And we start talking there, they're hitting me with, well, Amiga's been dead. Yes, I know it has. Jumpstart your heart also. So we start talking, there's a knock on the door, it's Dvorak. John said, hey Bill, hey John, how you doing? Good. So Dvorak comes in, he's got 3 other editors with him, he's drug out of other rooms. So they all sit down, they start watching, and pretty soon they're all playing with the cell phone, they're all watching the demos and the whole thing. And at the end of it, on November 2nd, I will now be on Silicon Spin with John Dvorak every month. So this is basically politically incorrect for geeks. But the point is that Amiga's getting representation out there because of folks like you, because I'm able to sit down and show applications. The SDK's been working since June. You're seeing photogenics, little games, rotator files, you're seeing an MPEG player. All this stuff's done by you guys. There's not another software system in the world that can do that. Okay? And now it's how do we turn this into making money? I mean, it is about profit, I'm sorry. As I keep saying, I plan on retiring very wealthy. But the idea is we need to give it back. So we want to start doing stuff with the user groups again. We want to start getting more people know what's going on. Now at 3:30, I'll be back here again to do another seminar. So if there's something I missed, tell me I missed it. We'll try to cover it the next one. And all the announcements we're going to make will be at the dinner tonight. So if you can't make the dinner, watch the website because a bunch of press releases will be going up at that time. If you are at the dinner, I'll see you there.
There's also another user group for.
That's right, and that's today at 4:30.
I don't know how early we can make it.
Okay, we've got to know, watch for a scheduled opportunity for the user groups. Okay, with that, I thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your time.
Maybe we can make that. Again, it's the same one, or it might be pushing that.
Right, well, this morning's talk was a bit different on this one.
so I figured it would largely be the exhibitors that came to the talks anyway. So I did the two differently. This morning's talk was about what makes QNX different from all the other RTOSs and the other platform OSs on the market. And the answer is architecture. It's modular architecture with the message passing and the unified memory model are the features that give QNX its differentiation from all the other operating systems in the market. Those features give it a whole lot of other advantages which I went into this morning. And what I really want to do is just introduce to you some of the two major functional advantages that QNX has at the moment. And maybe we'll just wander out to the stand. The guys have got a little bit of a demo out there. But for those of you who don't already know, I'm Robert Cameron from a company called Symmetry Innovations, and we operate out of Canberra. We're the importers and distributors for QNX. You may not have heard much from us in the past. In fact, you probably haven't, because we've been dealing directly with the industry, really. And our form of marketing is to go into places and tell them we can do stuff really nifty with QNX, prototype and show them we can do pilots. So we haven't really done much over the development. If you've got any questions, all of that stuff we're giving away out there's got our phone number and email address on it. Make sure you contact us. For those of you who haven't heard of QNX very much, or wondered if they've been around for a while, because the current marketing push makes it look like a new company, but they have been around since the 80s. They've got a string of firsts, and they don't really slow down. Their only battle has been to get the general desktop user to go and develop applications for the desktop using. But industry has certainly adopted the product very well. Culminating this year with their high-performance multimedia system, which is what they're giving away to people for home use now. A product that was somewhere between $7,000 and $14,000 is now given to anyone who wants to play with it. And for industry, you can develop your application right up to deployment time and then buy your licenses then. So that's a general introduction. So I'll just quickly go over the architecture of it for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to hear the morning talk. The fundamental difference is that there's three types of architectures out there. There's the real-time executive, where the programmer has taken control of dealing with the intertask, the priorities and so on, through exiting and releasing control to other areas of the code. It's one monolithic line of code. One line of code fails, the whole thing stops. You've got a bit more of an advantage over that with the monolithic operating system, where the applications at least are running in separate memory, in memory protected space, and they're dependent from each other. But the drivers are running in there with the kernel. So any new drivers that you kick in would destabilize the kernel. The issue with embedding is that most people move their applications into kernel space to get better performance and so on. With the microkernel architecture, you've got everything in memory protection. Only 8K of the kernel runs, that's why it's blue rather than red. Only 8K of the kernel runs in supervisor mode. So it's kept tight and reliable. Now it's this particular feature that has got it's the modularity and that microkernel that has facilitated the message passing communications, inter-task communications, which enables you to just plug in modules when you see fit. That has got companies like IBM and Cisco all excited. These guys believe that the industry has got themselves convinced that every single thing in your home is going to be internet enabled. Not only will it talk to each other, it's going to talk with your wallet, it's going to talk to the outside world. So, if you can see that as you want to add functions here, you just start them up and they become part of the operating system, part of the application. This is really just representing the different processors that it supports. But if you imagine for a second that there are other kernels with their own message bus on them, it's all in one system. That could be another machine on your network at home with its own kernel, its own message bus, and its own plugins attached. Looks like one system on the network. So what you get out of that is that if a resource doesn't exist on this system, it'll find it on one of the other networks. So you've only got one serial communications device to the outside world, one modem in the house. All the nodes in the network share it transparently. It's not a issue. So there's lots of situations in the home where you're only going to have one of something, and lots of people are going to want to share it. This does it all by default. No one's got to write the code to make it happen. So if you imagine a world where you go to the shop and you buy your Tegel turkey, and as you walk out of the shop, you go through a machine that detects that the Tegel turkey's been taken out, and it detects that you are who you are, and debits from your wallet. You go home, you pop it in the oven, and the oven reads the implant in the Tegel turkey and says, I'm an oven of so many watts, I've got a Tegel turkey of so many kilos, and it bumps up a whole lot of menu options on there to say, how do you want it cooked? You select it, it goes off to the Tegel website, comes back and tells the oven how to cook this Tegel turkey. That's what they wanted to enable with the home internet gateway. It's not something that we're all thinking about. It certainly wasn't something that I was thinking about, which is I'm currently using, a Linux box for. And as soon as BSD 4.4 comes out, of course, I'll put the real-time platform interface of the Linux box. But that's what I've been considering a home internet gateway. But they've got a much more sophisticated view, and that's why people like IBM and Cisco are putting effort into building an infrastructure. They're not even coming out with an end product. They're building an infrastructure for a whole lot of home internet gateway manufacturers to actually manufacture boxes for the purpose. And the sort of thing that's going to happen is that when somebody calls your mobile phone, it's an expensive call to the outside world. What they want to do is to track where you are at all times, so that they can automatically work out the least cost route to your mobile phone. So the system knows that you've turned up at home, and when the call comes into your mobile, it tells the cell net to send it through to the house phone. The internal network in the house phone patches it through to your mobile, as an example. So QNet, which is the QNX networking, is it on here? This guy has a few features that enable you to start it up with multiple links between sites to define which links that you wanted to use in priority. You can, for robustness purposes, define it to talk down multiple links at the same time, so that if any one link fails, you don't have that little bit of static that you get with one of the other options where the software has to first detect that the line's gone down, then it reroutes the virtual circuit through another line. So there's synchronous, asynchronous, multiple options with QNet that are totally hardware independent. You can use serial ports, parallel ports, via wire, all as part of this network. Hardware independent at that level. So what you get is a totally distributed system using the microkernel connections that occur as soon as you put a network of RTPs together and you identify to it that there are other devices on the network. QNX4 used to find them. That's been taken out, and now rather than having numbers for each node, they're given names. So you can have on your node at home / mum's house / oven, and you can just check if she turned off the oven when she went away. That's the sort of thing that they want to facilitate in home internet gateway. So one of the things that they did when they moved from QNX4 to Neutrino was to go to IP. mostly because of the routing issues. The QNX4 protocol was far more efficient, and a lot of customers still use it. Because it was so fast, they could get million messages a second across between two nodes. And, sorry, 1 million messages a second across between nodes. And with TCP/IP, it's not at that level, but then their argument is you've got 100 meg Ethernet, you've got 300 meg firewire, there's 3 gig firewire on the drawing board. You know, TCP/IP is the way to go. And that's certainly supported by the bigger players. So the low footprint and the high reliability design is ideal for home networks. You're going to have a little box that people treat like a piece of hardware. They just shove it in, it connects itself to Telstra, whoever the provider is, configures it up, detects all the various devices in the house and mounts them as resources on the network. Now, I think, you know, it could get out of hand. You might join Jenny Craig and they start monitoring what's in your fridge and what's going in your oven and stuff like that. So this is actually showing how the network manager bridges the kernels to the other networks. And there's basically no limit to that. It's going to extend across the internet and around the home. The other example that 3Com gave is, and maybe their new system does this already, they just announced that they've released a handheld web appliance, is that they want you to be able to go to work, sit your web pad down next to your machine, and have files instantly transferable through a little radio network or whatever. But it's not so much a matter of having special software to transfer the files. They're sharing a file system, so you just sit down at your PC and it's the D driver's there. It's like using a Windows terminal. The D driver's there, but it's that machine. And whatever you save to that is on that machine. But the really neat feature is that, say, you have an application on your web pad that you don't have on your desktop PC. The web pad's only got, say, a 486 in it, and your desktop machine has got a 600 meg ping. The application is there, the processing power's just run it straight off the web pad. Maybe you don't even have a decent graphical interface on your desktop machine. The graphical interface is down on your web pad. So you want to use that software and that display, but that processor, no problem. Start it up and away you go. Got a demo of that sort of thing out there. In fact, what we've got a demo is being able to share processors between modules. We've got a Windows NT machine running a thin client, sharing some video address space with a QNX4 machine. There's a thin client through to a real-time platform and the Trino. So then you take your web pad home, plug it in at home. While you're at work, you downloaded some music, plug it in at home. It automatically detects that it's home, links into the audio subsystem in the house, and you can start playing your music out through the network. Using the processing power for that specific purpose that's in your audio system, not necessarily in your web pad. So it's breaking down the amount of power people have to have in your web pad to get some decent service from it. This is just an indication of the system scalability, and the thing that Cisco like about QNet, they can put it in one card, they can stick it in a rack, and it automatically looks like one unit. They're not a whole lot of different devices inside a card anymore, inside a box anymore, they're one unit. It's effectively the same supercomputer. And that extends through racks and racks, so they can have a whole building filled with routers, and it's manageable as one router. Looks like one router. And the other neat feature with the modularity is that you can add and remove applications on the fly, add and remove drivers on the fly, add and remove protocol stacks on the fly. So what you'll end up with is hardware that has a common electrical interface, but detects the kind of protocol or the kind of connection that is being most used for, and optimize it themselves for that without somebody actually having to configure it up in advance. This is just an example of the other reasons that people want this sort of stuff for home use, embedded use, and it's the fact that the kernel never stops, so hardware watchdogs don't work. You can build your own software watchdog, and it can be application intelligent, or just a fairly dumb restarter type thing. Get a driver fail, memory violation, QNX catches it, dumps it for a post-mortem, which can automatically be sent out over the internet for you to, for the manufacturer to automatically be working out what the problem is with your system. Tells the watchdog tells QNX to restart it, and away you go. In that time, an IP packet might still be on a wire somewhere, so you haven't lost anything. So its other major feature is the GUI. The GUI is quite a special GUI in that it's built along the same lines as the rest of the architecture. It's a micro GUI. And what that means is that they've taken away from the GUI the understanding of what a window is. It's a very simple, I guess, transaction handler, and they lay over that the various windowing subsystems, and you've got Photon that can run from the host, that is Photon on the QNX platform, Photon from any other neutrino or QNX host, QNX 4 host, Photon from Windows or Linux systems, and that enables you to sit there with the connectivity is great. You can sit there with your QNX machine and your Samba links, using a Windows environment, doing it full, as though you're sitting at your QNX box, doing it in helping, but you're saving everything on your Microsoft machine using your favourite visual source save or whatever. The connectivity is excellent. If you want to sit at your QNX 4 box, you can have Citrix thin client out to Windows environment, and you can have X Windows sessions open. So the GUIs that are available are for QNX 4, X Windows, and that was called QNX Windows, Photon Micro GUI, Photon 2, which is the multi-threaded multimedia version which you get on the CDs, and there's some Java solutions from IBM and Sun. Actually, you can go to the IBM website now, pull down Java VM, what's it called, the Micro Edition, Visual Age Edition, which will get you a full GUI for developing Java apps, and you can target QNX. There's VMs on there to download for Photon. I'll just skip through this because I want to get out there and play with that stuff. So it supports X11, 5, Motif. The shared libraries mean that you can do stuff with a lot less memory. It has an advantage over the others in that it does maintain its determinism, and you get more workstation performance out of the PC. So I guess in the QNX world, the two major functional advantages it has, other than the architectural features, is the QNet and the Photon. Again, you've got the Citrix there client, which they say 300k of code and 200k of data, but when you connect at 1024 bytes, you know. So that's pretty good. And that's what the neutrino microkernel looks like in that they're how they've built the font. This is really neat because you can drop different fonts in on the fly as well. So as you walk from one country to another, they should change the fonts up. That's enabled them to support a lot of different fonts. They've managed to get the Japanese fonts down to a very, very manageable size. As I said, Photon doesn't know it's a windowing system. It doesn't know a line from a circle. It just implements a 3D event space with regions that are created and named by other processes. So you can get very creative about how you make window Photon. You can put your own layer into this 3D event space. Catch everything that goes through and do what you want with it. Effectively what it looks like in Fab. helps you do some of the general stuff that you want to do, like dropping windows and panes on and making things transparent or sensitive or not sensitive and so on. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of what you can do. A skins editor is coming along so that after the application is completely developed, you can then give it to your graphic artists and they can give it a complete new look and feel. Not only just the way it looks and feels, but the way the buttons react and rest. So it's customizable and scalable for handheld appliances. User extensible, and as I said, the skin editor is coming along. It's got the Unicode support for all the international languages. That again is what's making it very attractive to big industry players for the home gateway, because they don't consider the home gateway sitting there being a dumb little comms box. It's going to be a lot more than that. It'll be an interface to all the devices in your house. Photon offers these sorts of services right now, and they're being added to constantly. There's DVD completely written in software. It doesn't require any hardware acceleration, but it does require a 360 meg Pentium or better. There's the CD audio, MP3, MIDI and wave functions. I don't know whether I hit that button or not. And they have implemented the rich multimedia with plugins that load on demand. So as you download applications off the web, these plugins will come along and they can, you don't have to pull any restarts to get them going. They'll just jump in and start. As far as the graphics side of Photon is concerned, it supports the main standards. Obviously they want to blow that out to cover everything, but that's where they've started. They always start with the standards and work away. So yes, you've got the two Java options, IBM's embedded Java and personal Java from Sun. Those two sites tell you much more about it than the QNX site does. We all know how Java hangs together, so I'll go to that. And the connectivity summary is you've got TCP/IP to and from QNX core. Neutrino's got TCP/IP. Windows, X-Photon, Citrix give you the Windows and connectivity and the Linux. Oh, that's one thing I might not have mentioned. There is a thin client for Linux, which enables you to just go into your Linux box, telnet to a QNX system, and start a program called PHINX, and you get your full Photon GUI environment. You didn't have to load your software to make it happen. So these are the kinds of connectivity options that they've got in there at the moment, because one of the largest new customer bases in the industry that they've got is communications. And in fact, as an Australian distributor, we're seeing a lot of people interested in building handheld appliances, but they're not quite sure how to manufacture 10 million of them. It's a big problem, right? And so we're getting a lot more interest from comms people who maybe build 1,000 units a year of something very expensive, and that's the sort of thing that these facts are interesting to. BSD 4.4 is coming along. I'm waiting for that so that I can start using QNX Neutrino like I use my the remote control stuff, that's what we just want to walk out here and have a look at right now for a couple of minutes and see if the guys can show us this remote connectivity. So, thank you for your time. We've got a couple of minutes. I'll just nip out and see what the guys are up to and see if I can show us the thin client. Okay? Thank you.